Or does he try to spin one? And typically not the most confident of pitchers, especially off tight lies. I take it back, J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, he may have a bit of a stand. I think he's got room, but maybe a little awkward stance there as we go back to the third shot for Michael Gellerman.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy start and opportunity to.
It's very challenge for everyone in the world, not alone golfers and announcers, but as we watch second shot for Sungjae M at the first.
Yeah, this one on its way from 142 for M on a great line. Look at the raz on that.
Well, that one. Thought he might have a stance issue at the second green there, for J.B. Holmes. And maybe not surprising that one comes back out to the par 5 second. Michael Gellerman for a bounce back birdie.
And he will not be overly enthused for the rest of his round now. Double bogey par start.
But you better learn something from this, Daniel, from this experience.
Yeah, he'll probably be getting ready to, mentally at least, perhaps, bracing himself for a season on the Korn Ferry Tour next year.
J.B. Holmes for par. Good save there for JB, so he remains at +1. Oh. Third shot at the first for Hank Lebioda.
Yeah, just a nice little bump and run here from the back left of this green. Skipping its way down towards the hole.
Yeah, we'll give you partial status in between 10 to 15 starts in a season.
And as we've seen, that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, we've seen a few players secure their playing privileges out of that. Dickie Pride being one that jumps to mind, probably 10 years or so ago.
Yeah, birdie at 10th for Sungjae M.
Yeah, after a great shot in there, he's probably got one of the best looks so far that we've seen through this opening hole.
Sungjae and a great finish to the second round. Not so much for his third round yesterday. Comes in the week 30th in FedEx Cup points and the bogeys at 16 and 17 to finish his round. But inside the top 30 in FedEx Cup points. Important for the young man who's qualified for the Tour Championship in both seasons. Now third for Peter Uihlein at the second.
And if that is his third, he must have found his tee shot out in the forest and be able to.
Par save at the first for Hank Lebioda. And that will keep Lebioda.
9:40 starting time. Having the honor this morning be Rafael Campos from Guaynabo, Puerto Rico.
And you may hear the rain coming down in the background. Colin Swatton will be walking with this group today. Colin, Rafael set to go here at the first.
Yeah, all set to go here at the opening hole for Rafael as the rain starts to come down just a little heavier now. Less than driver at the opening hole.
RusselKnox,
Just 3 wood. And that one splits the fairway here at the opening hole.
And a good tee shot there for Campos. And next play, RusselKnox. First player we've seen don some rain gear on there, Daniel.
Yeah, RusselKnox from Scotland, obviously comfortable donning the rain gear.
Very nice. Play well, fellas.
Short sleeve variety, so it makes it a little bit easier on the player. You have to imagine it'll be a bit steamy under there right now with these temperatures and humidity levels, but The rollout takes it down the left edge of the fairway, and great angle for a second shot.
Peter Uline's fourth shot here.
And coming out of the sandy area, one bouncing in, and what a spectacular hole out. Dustin Johnson early this morning. The difficulty here is judging how slow it's really going to be with the added moisture. The rain coming down now, and looks like he again will have underestimated the amount of moisture in the grass.
Yeah, he's managed to squeeze it down the left side of this fairway, gives him a good angle at this back right pin. Total number is 97. You could hear Bradley Whittle say we're looking to come down about 90, which is about what we've seen the balls bounce this morning. This one on its way, great line straight at the pin. That one's going to take a big skid to the back left of this, using it to their advantage. This from a yard closer, 96 yards. Also on a nice line, looks a little bit deep. That one may not hang on the back edge there.
And just shot for Sunjay M.
Yeah, we've seen the players struggle to get there in two today. Perhaps the heavier atmosphere, not letting the ball travel as far through the air. Clearly, the ball's still bouncing in the fairways. And two with a really good line, coming up comfortably short of this green. Also, perhaps no wind assistance as we see that flag hanging completely limp.
Hank Lebiota, his second at the second.
And that, the closest we've seen somebody get up there in two, and that will leave a reasonably simple.
You know, the indecision is how much is it going to skid when it hits the green. So this one a little bit more predictable. Will come off the brow at the back of this green from right to left slightly. Rain starting to fall just a little heavier now. A little bit more moisture on the green. No surprise to see that one come.
Yeah, 3 wood, trying to probably just get that thing turning over right to left. Players tend to, when they feel like they have to turn it right to left, will go with a slightly shorter club. 3 wood in this case. And he's leaning like this might be dangerous down the left-hand side. And that is, and now, just lap of the gods, what on the left-hand side, especially the way we've been seeing these balls releasing on the green today. Right side of the fairway or right running out into that first cut on the right side is almost impossible to get the ball anywhere near the hole.
Fleetwood is away. We will be covering this feature group and the one in front of them, Rafael Campos and RusselKnox group. Attempt for RusselKnox. I don't know if that was a misread there, Daniel, or so RusselKnox will have a little bit of work left as Rafael Campos now trying to convert his par. So well done by Rafael. He stays at E this morning. They certainly would have learned that.
But they will adjust quickly.
After missing his birdie attempt, now RusselKnox for his par save at the first. And so this group will head to the par 5 leader as we now move to the tee at the par 5 second.
Now Rafa, you can see aiming down the left-hand side, trying to hit a cut. But this one going straight left, and that needs to miss that tree. Does so. Actually, now is perfect. Misses the limbs, carries the sand, and that will be prime position to have a crack at this green in 2. We haven't seen anybody up on the surface as of yet.
And I would imagine we may see a Different ball flight and pattern for RusselKnox.
Yeah, lower and more right to left.
So Russell now.
Blisters one left to right.
This one on a much flatter line.
And just finds the...
If than sorry, I suppose.
He's probably fortunate he can see it, I'm guessing.
And he's done very well. Kept it to the left-hand side. Gives him the angle to pitch up. And
So we'll have work to do to stay at even par there at the first after a really solid tee shot, Tommy Fleetwood.
now let's see. Tommy's played a lot of his golf in England. Will be aware of the moisture on the green and will probably play and allow for this big, massive skip. And he does. First person we've seen to really allow for it. And you'd have to imagine his experience of...
Up a 3-wood and get it somewhere up around there, but just playing for position here. I think this is a good pin, front left, where you can actually lay up. Good number, something that you can spin, hit it behind the pin and then draw it back. So it's a good play there for RusselKnox. Smart golf.
Yeah, went with a 5-iron there again.
Now Campos with the iron.
Yeah, as Daniel mentioned, he got a very nice bounce off the back of that bunker, skipped it up to here. Definitely the firepower to get it there, Daniel. This from 247. Sends it out low, and boy, that has hit the oak tree that guards the front left side of this green and fallen straight down. He will have all sorts of tree trouble here. Can't help but think he hit that one thin.
Gordon?
And after a really impressive recovery shot out of those lovegrass bushes, a lengthy effort here now. Judging the speed is just going to be so difficult now with the moisture on the greens, and you've gone 3 days of a certain type of natural speed that's ingrained into your brain, and that is so typical of what you would find coming up short.
20?
Well, the weather that we were anticipating kind of all week here has arrived on this Sunday. Fleetwood wraps that one by a couple of feet. Rafa Campos up at the second. Carl Swatton with these two.
Oh boy, this is heavy. Yeah, sitting up on that sandy line underneath that oak tree. Sometimes when you try and
FL.
RusselKnox, generally a very reliable wedge player.
yeah, it's a good pin location too this morning on the front left here. Almost looks like it's not on the green.
You know what?
This one here.
And here's Gordon back at the opening hole trying to save his par.
Yeah, just going to play this a little above the hole to the left. He looks a golfer.
Modern day player right there. Emerging from the collegiate ranks at Vanderbilt.
I'm not insinuating no one else looks the part, but he just seems to have the demeanor, the process.
Yeah, this is an awkward little pitch. Really got to try and play this with soft hands. No choice but to try and land it on the front of the green or front edge of the green and kick it up there.
So a couple of par fives in short succession here on the opening nine at 2 and 4.
Yeah, good swing.
And Gordon just laced that one.
Dana and I were talking earlier. I mean, it doesn't. Just really a solid player.
And that one headed left for Fleetwood, and that is going to be a layup, and a little fortunate that he's at least going to be able to get the club on the ball there.
That is a huge break in that sense, and Just going to need to try to chase something up the fairway.
Campos up ahead for his par.
Yeah, got a little bit of tree trouble there for his second. Maybe caught it a groove low, got out of position. Now has this for his par. And I believe bogey here at the second for Campos.
That one stings. This is Knox for birdie.
And I've got to say, a really good look for birdie here. This one is just going to peel from his left to right. Such a good looking putter. Looks very comfortable over the putt, but he was up and out of that one early. He knew he pushed that one from the get-go. That will be a par 5 here at the second hole.
Me, quite a number of events.
Really?
Yeah. Really good caddy.
Well, this one down the right side, turning back. And that will finish on the right-hand side, just short of that sandy area. Actually,
We can get out of this one.
That was a great camera angle, by the way. You could say he really hung on his left side there. Got over to it.
That's where I was pointing.
That's about what he was able to do, so good shot there.
And now Campos ready to turn one loose up at the third.
well, this one starts on a very nice line. Straight down the middle of the fairway, but it looks like too much club. That may, in fact, get all the way into that sandy area. That is going to make for one tough.
Par 5 second.
Oh, pretty good angle. Again, front left hole location. Ideally, you'd want to leave it just a touch short of the green.
Yeah, fine.
And that sandy area is not a bad spot either. Should be able to get spin on this. Maybe land it pin high, hop and then spin back. If you land it on the front, you risk maybe spinning it off the green.
Go, skip.
Yeah, it sounded a bit of a miss.
Sunday, RusselKnox is at the short par 4 third, this one for birdie. Karn, this is the club that needs to
And this is a very
cooperate.
good look for birdie. Oh, absolutely. And it's a great look here too, Swanee, straight down the hill.
A lot of that set up by the angle for his second at that first front hole location.
Back at the par 5 second, Tommy Fleetwood from just off the surface.
Yeah, this is definitely makeable, but it's a little bit slower than Tommy might think. Yeah, it looked like he had that red crumb tree that's sort of the logo with the half, the quarter moon.
Knox up at 4 here. Tommy, we're headed up to Cromwell, Connecticut in a couple weeks for the Travelers Championship, where this man won several seasons back. It was also the week that Jim Furyk shot that 58, a most memorable week there at TPC River Highlands.
Yeah, it was right around this time of the morning, John, where we got word that Furyk was tearing up the course, and we had to sprint out to the TPC and get on the air and get in position to actually record his closing stretch and bring it to the viewers. It was an amazing day
here today,
as we watched Campos here off the par 5. Knox made later that day a great putt on the 72nd hole, as you recall, and was looking at the field there for the Travelers last night, and they've got a stellar conglomerate of the best names in the game in a couple of weeks coming back there.
Tommy, you mentioned the time frame really allowed you to do it in an easy fashion.
It's a great question, Mark. First of all, you have to survey the property, because when you're covering tournaments like, say, Harbor Town just down the road, CBS has been there, so you learn the subtle nuances of how the course plays, and the way the weather's been this week, hot and dry early as Fleetwood drives here, and then wet last night. It really changes the character of the property almost overnight.
Thanks. Great shot.
And Fleetwood able to locate the fairway at the short third.
At the Open, John Daly at the PGA. I mean, they were still, you know, in the top, in Curtis's case, I believe the top 300 in the world daily, like around 120. So this would be, in the world ranking era, a pretty unprecedented opportunity for him.
And Matthew Wolf, by the way, came off winning the individual NCAA championship. So a little bit different for Tane Lade, but absolutely special for that young man and an opportunity in front of him.
That was WillGordon for birdie at the third. On the topic of the Travelers Championship, that's where Will earned his special temporary membership at TPC River Highlands. Another young player who is a strong collegiate time at Vanderbilt University, making the most of limited
ball striking. His gift is the ball striking element, kind of like Tommy Fleetwood, guys. You know, Tommy just seems to flush the ball day in, day out, year in, year out. This club, you know, maybe a source of you know, mediocrity at times through the years, but Ryder Cup